Oh god. Oh fuck, look at Fireman. He's a spaz. Definitely need full health for this boss. Everything I say is based on my own opinions and experience. I'm not speaking for the public, and my feedback should be treated as such. You are watching Nico Evaluates. With 25 years of experience on Mega Man games, 7 years of doing the No Miss Buster Only challenge, and countless Snupster Races, as well as being the QA tester for Mega Man Unlimited, I'm here to tell you my honest opinion on different Mega Man games, so sit tight and learn. I think we should get Elecman out of the way because I really hate his stage, so we are not going to the so we're not doing the weakness order here, so let's go check out Elecman. And fun fact, he's the only Robot Master who has a shortened name, Elec, so not Electric. And I think I have the answer as to why. It is because they couldn't fit the whole name on the stage select there. So Ice doesn't do anything different to the spines, works as same as the Buster. This screen is one of the worst screens I have ever seen on a Mega Man game. This is the absolute bottom of the barrel tier. Just garbage. This screen, if they really wanted to include this, should have been on a Wily stage, not the first screen on a normal Robot Master stage. No. Why did they do this? I don't know. But you have a couple of pixels window to make these jumps. It is absolutely ridiculous. Coupled with the fact that you have to be timing this right, otherwise you get clipped by the spines. Of course, now that I know how to do it, so of course it's easy. Like, I don't even pay attention to this anymore when I play or race the game. I just do this like this. It's not hard, but imagine a new player of the game. I remember when I was a kid, I spent hours on end on this screen. I spent so much time on this screen, it's ridiculous. I used to spend a whole evenings on this screen alone. And I think the worst mistake they did is that you get the magnet beam, which allows you to climb stuff, but it's on this stage. Wouldn't it make more sense to put the magnet beam on another stage so you could actually use it at the beginning here? But since you don't have it and there are no means to get it, if you haven't beaten the stage already or game over after getting the magnet beam, it doesn't make any sense. If this screen would have been so much better if you had some more margin for error. It is such a tight window to do these jumps, and it's the first screen of this stage. It is like, don't ever do this. And what's good about these official games, we don't have to necessarily showcase and test the controls and whatnot, because I already know a lot about them. And designs like this, why is there a ladder here? What purpose does this ladder have? Nothing, it's just there for a decoration and you can't climb it back up. Let's actually go back there and check. So, it's just for decoration and it makes no sense. Can I climb back up? Nope, you just drop down on the spines. There you go, fuck you. It's kinda strange. And take a note of these little electrical outlets here. Just remember these as we go on, because right now they're not doing anything. And again, this jump. What a ridiculous jump. Like, this stage fucks you over and over and over if you came here first, or even after Iceman here. If you don't have the rolling cutter, if you don't have the Elec beam, you're not gonna get rid of these. So it's just ridiculous jumps after ridiculous jumps. And it goes as far as to punish you for getting this energy here. If you wanna get this energy, well, now you just have to do the whole section again. Why not add a ladder here to go back up? Why punish the player for getting the energy and make such a difficult start on the stage? It is quite ridiculous. And the climbing speed of this game, I don't like. Look at how slow this is. Extremely slow climb. And I have to tell you that this is my least favorite official Mega Man stage of all time. It's horrible because the ladder climbing speed is so slow and you have to keep going up, 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 up. for so long. You get so tired of this stage. And what's funny is that the energy comes back every time you scroll back down. Another thing that I don't agree with. Of course, they perfected these after Mega Man 1, so we can kinda excuse that. So here is where the inconsistency lies. So if you took a note of those power outlets, well, here they are again, but this time they are spitting out electricity. Isn't that kinda strange? How some of them do and some of them don't? I guess it's a good warning sign that there are more of them to come, but I just don't know why it's so inconsistent. But you know what's good about this? If you come up here, you're not gonna get up there fast enough that you would actually take a hit from these. You'll notice that you'll notice the electricity before you even reach this part. So it's a good teaching element again. You get to see what's going on before you actually take damage. That I can agree with. That's a good design. Watchers, oh man, they have a couple of issues. So when you get close to them, they'll open their eyes and they shoot electricity out. But so pay close attention to what happens here. So our shot went through. That is why I usually shoot twice at that part. So the watchers here are a bit buggy. So like that, I usually shoot twice. Really don't know why that happens. But it's something I got used to. I just shoot through twice. Or yeah, you can just miss them over and over again. So they're not perfect, but I like the design of them. But look at this. Look at how high up you have to climb, and then there's more. Like, wasn't one screen of this enough? Why do you have to have two screens? Like, I get it. You want to have the feeling of despair when you get up here. You don't want to fall down because you have to redo all of that. That's kind of a neat design, but it's such a punishing design. I don't agree with it. Yoku blocks, fine. Not an overly complicated pattern. But if you go left here, you understand your mistake. Oh, it's just weapon energy. So you get to feel that. And what most people do here is they go back down here, of course. Why would you even attempt this jump? It's ridiculous. But you can actually make it. It's just very difficult. I do like the Yoku blocks here, how they form next to each other. It's kind of cute. So if you go back down here, there's nothing special here. You just make these Yoku blocks jumps. It's kind of awkward to make the first jump here, because I would have not put this first Yoku block right on top of this block. Because what ends up happening is you just keep on trying to get up there and bunking your head on it. I would have put it more left or right to easily make that jump. Especially when you're already up here. Why would you risk that? Anyway, it's an okay design. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. I really like the graphics of this stage though. It's a nice mesh of colors. Really looks good for the first game. Look at that animation there. Brings the stage alive. Very nice, and that energy is just like another fuck you. Because you can barely make this jump. We can try. You can either tippy-toe, like that, or you can just make a running jump. It's pretty hard though. So this game suffers a bit from the tippy-toeing problem that we saw in Rock Force and Street Fighter Cross Mega Man. If you look at my D-pad, you can see that I'm pressing every time, but he's not moving every time. So it's a bit hit and miss. So the tippy-toeing was not perfect on this first game here. So they only perfected it later on. And fun fact, the reason why there are two sections identical to this screen here is I think the screen was there to add more memory space to the stage, something like that. That's the reason why there's two identical rooms, so they could add more length to the stage. That's actually what I remember, I think, at least. Here, it's nice to have actually, you can choose your route here. So you can go to the right side or the left side, but you don't know what's coming. You just have to pick your poison at that point. I realized we didn't take the magnet beam, but I'll show you why we didn't. So normally the Magnet Beam can be acquired with the Guts blocks. So you pick up these blocks and then you get the Magnet Beam, and that allows you to walk on these bridges that you form. But we can actually completely get it without. So you have to press fire and down at the same exact frame for this to work. There we go. Then we press up. And at the peak of our jump, we press right and then quickly left. There we go. And now we have to be careful not to lock ourselves in the room, or we have to reset the whole game. I don't even know why I'm doing this. I'm just showcasing how the official games can be buggy as well. There we go. Now we just have to make it out. There we go. That's how we got the Magnet Beam without the Guts arm. Yeah, the original games are broken as well. So again, these jumps are a bit better. This section is a bit more forgiving than the first set of rooms on the stage. So kind of the stage kind of works backwards. It's not well designed. It's like I said, it's one of my least favorite stages in the entire official lineup. So these little jumpy assholes are called fleas, and sadly they are random. Pretty much the only thing that they have where you can actually predict what they're doing, they will always follow Mega Man. They will always jump to the side of the Mega Man is at. But their jump height and speed are completely random, so they can just do whatever jumps they like. So if you are waiting for the flea to jump down and you're waiting here, there's a possibility that you'll get hit by the random number generator, so let me show that. So if we are a bit faster here, go like this, like now it was okay, but another time it could just fuck us over and hit us. So you're more safe if you wait down there. Just take my word for it. Now here is the second room that's similar to the previous room. And I think Felon mentioned that it's because of memory limitations. They added some memory things on that screen to make the stage longer or something. It's a sad, sad day because the stage really sucks. Don't need to make it longer. Just not a good design. Look at this. Put the big eye at a spot like this, where if you just have the Buster, you have to pray for the RNG gods to make that. And if you're too slow, you have to reset the room, so you just have to pray that you get under him. Like that, no. It's just horrible design. But if you have the Magnet Beam, or even the Ice Slasher, you can do this. So the weapon usage is okay in this game. So if you wanna use the Magnet Beam, you can do that as well. The problem with the Magnet Beam is that it flashes hell of a lot, because what the NES does with sprites is that if they are on the same horizontal plane, if there's too much stuff on the same horizontal plane, it starts flickering like that. So that makes the Magnet Beam kind of hard to see. But it works okay for what it is. Now, just one more climb. It's just black background, you're just going up a tube. This stage is just garbage. I really don't like this stage. And these, you can barely make these just in time. It is just mediocre. Really, if anyone asks me what the worst stage in any Mega Man game is, in my opinion of the official lineup, Elecman, no doubt. And it's just because of the stage designs. The idea is good, but the designs are lackluster. A lot of people would say Elecman is random, right? There's nothing you can do about it. Well, no, you can totally kill him without taking any damage. It is the fact that I was talking about earlier about Iceman. All of the Robot Masters have patterns, but they are so convoluted that you would not know about them unless you study. So all of the Robot Masters, in a sense, are not good designs. Their patterns are... they're just not good. They're just not as good as the other games. But we can again kinda excuse it. First game, right. There's a couple of things you can do. When he raises his arms, you shoot him. That's the way you stop his shot. This is the riskier way. When I was doing my no-miss, I found this easier. So you jump here, so even if he gets a shot out, you can jump out of the way. If you look at Elecman carefully here, you can see that he always shoots at certain spots on the floor. There, there, and there. And he never does anything differently. He always does the same thing. Sometimes he can get stuck like that, so he jumps once against that block. And if he has already made an elec beam on the middle, but he starts jumping there, he will not fire again until he's up here. So he will always do the same thing like this. So no, Elecman is not random. He's very patternized, in fact. But whether the pattern is good or not, that's for you to judge. And if you ask me, it is really not. Why would you make a pattern like this? And again, new players, you know what they do when they get here. They're like, oh god, this is the hardest Robot Master I've ever seen. Holy shit, Elecman is the hardest. Would you agree? Agree with me. Oh my god, I'm getting so lucky here. Look at my luck. Look at my luck beating Elecman here. I'm so lucky. Oh, I almost got him. Right? That's your instinct. That's your instinct when you're battling these Robot Masters. You're just gonna go apeshit, because you don't actually see any patterns. There's nothing for new players to learn. You're just gonna get your ass handed to you. And let's be straight here. Who's gonna sit down and study fucking Robot Masters when you're playing a game? Only the Snupsters, right? Nobody else. Well, some individuals do, and it's fine. But my point is that the designs are just garbage. For the most part, anyway. You can also do it like this. So just 28 shots like this and he's down. So the patterns, really mediocre in this game. Not a fan of the designs that were created here. But of course, first game. Learn from your mistakes. Can't be perfect. Unless you're me. No miss, no damage. Easy as pie. When you know what you're doing, right? Collect the meaningless ore, but this is quite interesting so far. I hope you're enjoying this look at the first game. You might be wondering when we are gonna test the weapons, and I say we beat the stages quite normally first, and because you can actually revisit stages, we're gonna go and test the weapons after, and I'll show you what I think about them. Most of you probably already know what I think about the weapons, but just in case you don't, let's go. And for the sake of completion, let's go check out the weapons in detail later. Let's tackle our boy, Fireman. Again, most of you probably think he's random. Nope. None of these bosses are random. But it's kinda... If you really think about it, it's kinda like Street Fighter Cross Mega Man. Except they actually have a pattern, but they feel so random that you would think they are random, but in fact they're not. So here we have the original Screw Bomber. In my opinion, a fantastic design. One of my favorite designs from a Mega Man game. Clear patterns, easy to deal with, and it's just a good enemy. And look at this stage, it's beautiful. Granted, in some spots the background is just gonna be black. So some improvements could be done, but it looks pretty damn good. What comes to the fire pillar here, I always hated how it makes the impact sound. Like, you hear that? It should not make an impact sound because it makes you think that you can actually damage it. When in fact, you cannot kill it. I spent hours as a kid trying to kill these things. But there is no way, and that's one of the random aspects of the tackle fires. They come down in random patterns, and if you don't pay attention enough, that can happen. The way we just died there. The Screw Bomber's hitbox is a bit wonky, it's a bit bigger than it actually is. So if we take a look at here, you can actually kill it from here. So pretty far below. So tackle fire spawn point I think should not be there because it can end up on this screen here. So I would have moved the tackle fire spawn point more to the right. Because now it should not spawn on this location in my opinion. And honestly, it looks like a mistake. So right here is where it should be spawning and not there. So they come down in a randomized pattern. So that's pretty much their shtick. But it's almost okay. Like, I don't mind the randomness. There's only 3 of them. They die in 1 hit. And it's a fun enemy to battle. It's a fun, suspenseful enemy. I don't have a problem with it. Even though it is random, I like it. Some things actually work out when they're random and some don't. So this is an example of an RNG-based enemy that actually works. Cool fact, you can ice these beams and you can actually walk on them. So that's a very nice design in my opinion. Very cool, if you will. Of course, these don't. For some reason the tackle fire doesn't freeze. They just, well, they freeze, but they don't turn blue, which is kinda sad. So attention to detail would have been very cool there. And that's an example of clipping. That hitbox looked like it was not gonna hit us, but in fact it tracked us down. This game is a bit known for stuff like that. And also, what comes to clipping, it is extremely easy to mess up the game with the magnet beam. There's a way to clip through things. I'm not good at doing that. Actually, I suck at doing that. But if you manage to do that, you can actually clip through like most of the stages and speedrun it that way. So if I actually succeeded here, I think what would happen is that we'd scroll onto the next screen there. But I'm not good at the zips with the magnet beams, so I'm gonna let someone else do that. I'm really not good. I might ask Shigaroxen to do some examples for me for the mini screen there, so you can see what that's all about. If you're interested to see how broken this game actually is, behind the scenes, check the mini screen. And what people fail to see when they discuss how buggy games are is that if the bugs are hard to pull, like in the case of the magnet beam, if it's hard to do a bug like that, then what does it matter? Nobody's like no normal casual player would ever find those. So what does it matter? I'm always up in the ass of bugs that affect gameplay. But if they don't, then what does it matter? One problem that this game has is with high drops. There is a huge velocity problem in the game, and I'll showcase. Look at carefully here. Look at how fast you drop down. So that also happens on foot holders for some reason, and the magnet beam. So again, proves the fact that the magnet beam and the foot holders are the same exact. They work the same exact way. So if you're not careful, you can just drop down like that, and you're dead. In the worst case. So it's funny how you can scroll back all of these items. Like, I never paid this much attention to it. Apparently that's the thing. So something I would have fixed in the final version of the game. So this screen is kinda if you want the energy, you go grab it, but it's only a small energy, so it's kinda like if you really want those. Not a bad room. Nope, not a bad room. If you have the magnet beam, you can go up here. Or you can just do it normally. One bug I've seen is that these fire pillars, sometimes they turn blue if we pause the game at the exact spot of the frame. There we go, like you can see the flame is blue. And this game is actually famous for this select pause thing. It has a very famous bug that no other Mega Man game has, to my knowledge at least. This is an okay screen as well, I like it. You can make this jump as well, if you're good. Now I really want to make that jump. But it's kind of weird, like, what is the purpose of this, like, what is the purpose of the ledge on the left there? Like nothing, it's just there for decoration. Again, not bad. All of this is fine, just I would have added a background to this, like it's just black. Maybe they ran out of memory or something, but Like stuff like this up here. What is the purpose of this? What is the purpose of this ledge here? Well, at least you can farm up there. So, another bug. I'm not sure what this decision is. So there is a platform here, even though it's completely black. You would think that you'd drop through, but you can, if you know how to do that. So if you make a small jump here, you just pretty much, you fall through. Like that. That's a little zip, like one of the most well-known zips in this entire game. They actually fixed this on the Wily Wars version, where if you jump down here, you actually fall through, like fall down there. But in this game, I don't know what happened there. Oversight maybe or something? I don't know. But not bad. This screen, really hectic. If you make the absolute top, if you jump to the absolute top of a ladder, you kinda ignore the whole animation of it. So it kinda appear at the top. So that's one thing that doesn't really make a difference. But it's something they could have fixed. Or just not make ladders of this height. To kinda ignore the problem. To kinda go around the problem. As you can see as well, the magnet and the elec beam lags the game hell of a lot. This is one ladder bug I found. It's only here. So if you press up at the exact pixel perfect spot, you kind of do a little mini jump here. Doesn't affect the gameplay that much. But hectic stage. And for the most part well designed in my opinion. Love the tackle fires, how they come down, but here... So this, everyone knows about this. One of the hardest things to do no damage in this entire game with just a buster. Of course, again, if you have the weapons, just skip it. But in case you started with this stage, this is how everyone would do it. Oh, I luckily cleared it. And I luckily cleared it again. But you can actually do this every time. Let me show you how. It doesn't make the design any better, don't get me wrong. If you're doing no miss, no damage, you can do this. And you can pass it every time. If you looked closely what I did, I kept going, but on this ladder I let go of the D-pad 3 times. And on that right ladder I let go of the D-pad 5 times. That's how you get past this every single time. It doesn't mean it's a good design. No, the design is awful. It is garbage. This design is just... It's not good. But that's how you get past it. You can also do the felon method. He actually shoots. If it's not a no-miss, you can like shoot twice here and go up and go past that part. So there's a couple of ways you can do this, or you can glitch the game. Press select. You can group the flames like this. I'm not good at it, but you can see how they are already fucking up. But there you have a couple of ways to deal with this. What a horrible design, one of the worst designs of this entire game. It is way too unforgiving. You have a single frame that you can actually pull this off in. So, not good, and you would hope that you could actually freeze these. But you can't. So what is the point? Why have a weapon such as the Ice Slasher and not be able to freeze these? That would have been extremely good. But no, we don't get that either, so all in all, one of the worst decisions of the game. So now we have the other scrolling enemy variation, other than the penguin. These actually explode. They give you no warning about it. They don't flash or anything. They just explode. So they don't let the player know about the incoming explosion, and the explosion is huge. I would have probably toned it down a bit. It is kind of ridiculous, and this part as well. You're running from the spine, have to keep jumping on the narrow hallway. Like I've said before, narrow hallways like this I don't like, especially if you have to jump over enemies. It's just not good design. Like, look at this, how ridiculous this is. It's not well designed at all. It is manageable, but not good. Again, tackle fire's fine. I do enjoy the stage for the most part, it's not bad. And these hallways do not exist in any other Mega Man game, official ones anyway. As my memory... if my memory doesn't let me down. Kinda ass to have these many screw bombers at the ceiling. You're kinda hitting your head at the ceiling and shooting at them like this. It's kinda destroys the flow. But, again... so this is what most people do at this boss. I'll showcase that first. Oh god. Oh fuck, look at Fireman. He's a spaz. Definitely need full health for this boss. Or if I have his weakness. The Ice Slasher. Oh yeah, that's the only way to kill him, right? The Ice Slasher. Look at how much he spams you. Oh man, you definitely need the Ice Slasher for this one. No. Again, bad design. Horrible design, in fact. But if you study how he works, you can do this. Just jump and shoot every single time he shoots at you. And at the last damage you're about to do, just jump forward and you're done. Because the flame will stay on the ground. So that's how you no damage him. Or you can do it like this. This is the felon method. You always shoot him when he's about to turn, and that way you ignore his flame. So again, a couple of strategies you can do. But how would you ever know these if you didn't study the games? Like, no casual player is gonna go out of their way and study these Robot Masters. And that's why these are bad designs. They're not clear before you spend time on these and figure out how they work. It's extremely hard to find out these things. And for that reason, I really don't like the Robot Master designs in this game. They are easy to exploit, but if you don't know how, then... So, a very poor job on almost all, if not all, of these Robot Masters. But again, first Mega Man game ever made, so I think we kinda have to excuse it. Even if you really don't want to. Of course, if we are reviewing the game, then if we're comparing Mega Man 1 to 4, there's an obvious winner there. If you agreed on what I said, leave a like. If you disagreed, leave a dislike. I'll catch you on the next episode.